Today is August 24th. This is a condensed version of our lesson for today. We're going to start our lesson by reviewing our classroom chat, which is our rules. We're going to be talking about sitting quietly, staying in your seat at your computer. This is very important. Raise your hand. Eat before you come to class. I don't want to see eating while we're in class. Drinking is okay. Listen to your teacher and always do your best work. We will also be starting Class Dojo today. During our morning meetings, we're going to be discussing certain character traits. And this week, we're talking about feelings. We're going to be reading the book Today I Feel Silly. And we're going to be talking about how everybody has feelings and what we can do to change those feelings if we don't like how we are feeling. So we're going to talk about how we're feeling today, how we make others feel, because that's important too. We want to make sure that we're making our friends feel good. And how do others make you feel? So making sure that you're understanding what your friends, how being a good friend, having a good friend, and how they make you feel, because you should always feel good and happy. Sometimes you're not going to, but that's what we're going to talk about this week, is how we can change that. We're going to be talking about how we feel and why during our share time. This week's focus in math is calendar and ordinal numbers, and they go together because we use ordinal numbers with calendar, okay? So when we talk about our months of the year and our days of the week, okay, we know that there are 12 months in a year: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So if I think about it and I go, okay, well, I was born in March. So March was right here. So I'm going to go, this is the first month because it's what starts our year. This is the second month. This is the third month. So I was born on the third month, and funny, the third day of that month. So ordinal numbers help us to tell the place of something. Just like if you're running a race, you get in first place because you crossed the line and you were number one. If you're number two, you are second. Same goes with our days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The first day of the week is Sunday. The second day of the week is Monday. So that's how we're putting those together. And you can see, based off this poster that we're using, that kind of helps you to tell where they're at. You can also see that this is not the first person or the first bear, because he's last in line, and we know that because of the way they're facing. So we need to do some observation skills when we're looking at places in line, and we're going to be going over this all week. This is an introduction today. We do have a little activity we're going to be practicing, and I will share that out on our Google Classroom. We're also going to really dive into calendar this week, talking about what is a calendar. We're going to be talking about the measurement. The measurement, what does that do? What does it measure? It measures time. Okay, it measures time in days and weeks and months and years. So that is what we're going to be doing in math. That's a little short snippet of our math lesson today. I really want to dive into our reading while we're here today. The first thing we're going to be doing is learning a poem. Okay. Now, parents, if you're listening in right now, when we're talking about this poem, the students should learn it by memory. They should not be reading it. Do not show them the words. And you'll find out whenever you sign up in September, when you're going to sign up in September to go in and have your child tested with our reading specialist. So the Little Bo Peep poem, we are going to be using our pictures. Okay, and our pictures help us to know what to say when we see that picture. So we say, Little Bo Peep, has lost her sheep. She's looking for them. And doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them. So let's listen to that one more time. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them. So practice saying that poem over and over to yourself, and we're going to be doing that for the next 2 weeks. Because like I said, students, you're going to need to know that by memory when you go in and get your test done with the reading specialist at school. We're going to be reviewing our letters over the next few weeks, just to make sure that we can write them, we can hear what they sound like, we can match, we can use them. We're going to be using them for all different kinds of things. So today we're going to learn how to write the letter A. Your activity for this afternoon has to do with writing the letter A. But let's look at writing the letter A right now. When I do the capital letter A, I'm going to do a slanted line. So that means that I'm going to be going not straight up and down, but I'm going to be going off to the side. So my capital letter A, I'm going to take and do a slant line that way, a slanted line the other way, and then I'm going to connect them in the middle. So it's almost like you're making a triangle, except that middle line is going to be in the middle. Our lowercase a, we're going to make almost like a circle, but we're going to stop. So it looks like a letter C if you remember that from last year. So almost a circle, but we're going to stop. And then we're going to come up, not all the way up, halfway, just almost to where it's at the top of here. And we're going to go straight line down to make the lowercase a. And I'd like you guys to practice that while you're on your own. So now that we know and we've practiced how to write the letter A, let's talk about how it sounds. Now the letter A makes 2 different sounds, okay? The one that we're going to focus on right now is the short sound, and that's the ah sound. So I want you to drop your jaw, just like you're opening wide, and you're going to go ah. So practice that. Ah. Now it also makes the A sound, the long A sound, and we'll talk about that later. But it's just good to know, because in case you're trying to sound out a word and the ah sound doesn't make sense in a word when you're sounding it out, switch it to A. Give it a try. See if it works. So now we're going to listen for the ah sound in a word, and we're going to do thumbs up or thumbs down. So if I say the word hippo, hippo, hippo. No, that's a thumbs down. That does not make the ass sound. What about arrow? Arrow. Ooh, my mouth opens with that ass sound. Arrow. Thumbs up. It makes that sound. Very good. What about foot? Foot. Does it start with an ass sound? No, it does not. Avocado. Ooh, my mouth dropped open again. Avocado. Starts with an A. Very good. Frog. Frog. Nope, I don't hear an ass sound. What about angry? Ooh, my jaw's dropping down again. Angry. That's an A sound. So our A words were arrow, avocado, angry. So hear that ass sound. And you notice Mrs. V didn't use normal words like apple, because I want you guys to get a bigger vocabulary. So I'm going to be teaching you new words while we're reviewing our letters. And now we're going to use our letter A to make a word. So I'm going to move over this letter P. And I'm going to sound this word out now. And I'm going to go slow. And if you have trouble doing this, I find that if you tap for the syllables, it helps out. So if I go p, a, t, let's do it faster. P, at, pat. That makes the word pat. So I can look and see the p, at. Now here's what's funny is think about those rhyming words. All of my words are going to rhyme with pat because that at sound is what we're going to be using today. If I move my S over, can you think of what the word is? Let's sound it out. S, at, sat. Good job. What about this word? Think about it. Let's try it. At, mat. Very good, guys. All right. One more easy one, and then Mrs. V always ends on a hard one. What about this one? Let's do it together again. At, rat. Very good. All right, here's the hard one. Let me give you a hint. Yes, there's two letters here, but they make one sound. Do you remember from last year? Makes a ch, 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 ch sound. So, ch, at, chat. Good job, guys. I want you guys to also be reviewing and practicing your sight words. So these are the sight words we're going to be looking over this week. They're in your level A sight word packet. Make sure you're cutting those out, gluing them, and going over them every day. Okay, our reading lesson today is talking about what a just right book is. We're going to be talking about what's easy, what's just right, and too hard. So if I pick up a book and I can read all the words, is that a just right book for whenever we're trying to practice? No. So if I can read everything in the book, it's too easy. It's something you can read on your own for fun later, but when we're practicing, we want it to be just a little bit too hard, a little bit challenging. So if I look at a book and I pick it up and I go, oh my goodness, I don't know any of these words, none of them, or I only know like one or two, that's too hard. We don't want to do that one either. But if I can pick it up and I know a lot of the words, but I still have to sound some words out, and I can have the pictures help me, and I can just work a little bit harder to learn some new words, that's a just right book. Okay, and I'm going to help you practice that as we continue on through this next couple of weeks. And you can find books to read online with that Epic login that I gave you. Today, for our reading lesson, we're going to be reading My New Teacher and Me by Yankovic. Now, for you guys, this is a too hard book. But for me to read it to you, you're listening and you're learning new words. And whenever I do that, I want you to really just start thinking about what the book is telling you, looking at the meaning, listening for the characters and the setting. And we're going to be going over all of that. But it's a time for you to listen, but also to think about what I'm reading to you. And we're going to talk about how did the teacher feel in the beginning of the story, the end of the story, and why. So if you want to go back and reread this story, remember, it's in my virtual reading room that's hooked up to our Google Classroom. So go find this book, listen to it again, and answer this question. How did the teacher feel in the beginning of the story, the end of the story, and why did he change how he felt? Oh, just like we did this morning, we're going to talk about our feelings and how they can change. Another thing that we're going to be going over is talking about recording what we read. So, one of your activities on Wednesday is going to be reading something, but then also recording what you read, doing a reading log. So, your reading log, you would take and type in the book that you've read, but I also want you to type in the author. And then I want you to tell me if you liked it or not. Is it okay to not like a book? Yes, it is okay to not like a book. Mrs. V has read many books that I just went, nope, don't like. But I have a lot of books that I love. And it helps us to know what kind of books do we like to read. Do you like to read fiction or nonfiction? Do you like to read about sports? Do you like to read about animals? Because if we're not reading what we like, then we're not going to like to read. So it's helping us to make those connections. The last thing that we're going to do today is we're going to do a writing. So you're going to need your journal, okay, your primary journal. It has the picture on the top, or the place where you can draw a picture, and then write on the bottom. What is something you did over the summer that you want to share with me? And then you're going to draw a picture of it and write about it. So draw a picture and write about it. Okay? So friends, the reason I'm making these videos is so that you can go back and review what we did in class. I know sometimes we get so overwhelmed and we maybe a little tired and we're not listening all the time, but that's why I'm posting the lessons so that you guys can watch them again. Okay? So that you can refresh your memory before you go and do your work. If you have any questions, you know you can always email me. And if you're not in my class and you're watching this, thank you. I hope that you are learning something and being able to connect. Thank you so much.